Hello and good day everyone. I'm Amberlye from Group 7. My team member is Prasad, Klaus, Rizki, Rizan. Today we're going to present our research question that the title is Earthquake in Japan. These are the few content that we're going to show in our presentation. Okay, for the introduction, an earthquake is a natural phenomenon caused by vibration driven by the rapid release of energy from the Earth's crust. Tokyo has experienced more than 40 earthquakes with a magnitude of 3 or higher in the past year. The Great 311 earthquake, also as known as Great East Japan earthquake, happened at 2:46 p.m. on March 11, 2011. It was a 3-type earthquake with a magnitude of up to 9.0. The tsunami that followed the 311 earthquake was also responsible for the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear catastrophe. Following the nuclear catastrophe, over 4.05 million houses in the Tokyo Electricity Company were without electricity at their peak. Okay, for the literature review, they have 4 points. The first point is after the Great East Japan earthquake, the basic law for reconstruction was released on June 24. The second point is although the government has made effort to rebuild the local community after the catastrophe, the town has not yet fully recovered. The third point is the government pledged more than 30 trillion yen to the affected area to assist them in development infrastructure and during. The last point is in the hardest hit area of Iwate, Miyagi, and Fukushima, it has been estimated that the total value of production is between 16 trillion and 25 trillion yen. That's all for me. Next, I will pass to Prasad.
Okay, for problem statement, the March 11, 2011 earthquake that occurred in Japan had and still has a large negative impact on the economy of Japan. The earthquake-related events in Japan are still unfolding and economic forecasts are becoming increasingly dismal. And analysts predict that Japan's economy will contract and possibly enter recession over the next quarter or so. Alright, so for the second problem is, this study discovers the problem faced by the Japanese government and the Japanese people. For example, physical damage is estimated to be from 125 billion to as much as $305 billion. This is a cost that has to be covered by the Japanese government through their own efforts. Okay, so for the last part is the Japanese government's official count of death had exceeded 10,000, more than 1.5 times as the number that was still listed as missing and presumed dead. So yeah, that's all. Thank you. I will pass to my groupmate.
Okay, so for research questions, we have 3, which is first one, how did the Japanese government heal the nation after this horrible disaster? Question number 2, could Japan have prepared more to face natural disasters as such? And number 3, how bad were the lives of affected citizens of this natural disaster?
The objective mates for this study is to aim that acquire and bring along together classes and the correct pieces from the recovery efforts in Japan, and also to share with them the huge circle among the global community. And it's also to beautify the information or employment and labor which associate measures inside the context of disaster restoration. Last but not least, it is aimed to benefit humans dwelling in catastrophic inclined countries who are its closing beneficiaries. For the hypotheses that have been made in the study, we can predict that earthquakes normally consequences from the separation of the Pacific plate, which separating below the Eurasian plate. And from there we can predict that also specific forms of earthquakes, which alone are normally interpolated ones, or volcanic ones, and even many others which passes off the convergent margin in Japan. Last but not least, it is the frequent earthquakes occurred in Japan are also related to the Texas plate for the boundary zone and also all the active fault structures.
Okay, so for the significance of this study. The study of earthquakes in Japan with data produced from this study will help not only countries such as Japan but also other countries that also regularly experienced earthquakes in dealing with the preparation and the aftermath of earthquakes. By conducting this study, we hope that our findings can help improve existing safety precautions against earthquakes, be it structural and foundational resistance against earthquake and safety measures, and develop new technology that will help us warn against and also help restore damaged infrastructure, which in turn will allow us to save more lives when an earthquake happens in the future.
Hi, my name is Mohamad Rizan and I will be presenting for the research methodology. In this research, we will be observing people's opinion. The quantitative research approach will be used, which emphasizes objective measurement and statistical, mathematical, and numerical analysis of data acquired by polls, questionnaires, and survey. Google Form will be utilized as the survey platform to get feedback from people from every Malaysian university and state. The study sample size will range from 30 to 50 people. The survey data will be tailored and transformed into graphical form to make demonstration and explanation easier and to get the most out of the information gathered. Based on the data obtained, we will be able to analyze the output and will be able to relate back to the objective of this research.
Okay, so for findings, in figure 1, it shows the percentage of the age of respondents that have answered the survey. Most of the respondents are 15 to 21 years old, with a total of 50% of them answering the survey. The second most respondents for this survey are 22 to 28-year-olds, with a total of 37.5% of them answering the survey. 28-year-old and above is the lowest age category of respondents, with a total of 12.5% respondents. All right, the next slide. So this figure 2, it shows the percentage of the age of respondents of the gender of respondents, where it is at an equal amount at 50% of males and 50% of female respondents. In figure 3, the pie chart shows that 95.8% of the respondents have heard about the earthquakes that happened in Japan on 2011, and 4.2% have not heard about this earthquake. And figure 4, the question in the survey asks, how did you learn about the 2011 Japan earthquake? And 54.2% of the respondents answered social media. 25% of respondents answered news. 12.5 answered from a family member, and 8.3 answered newspaper. Social media being the highest answer for respondents, while newspaper is being the lowest answer for respondents. Figure 5 shows how would respondents help victims in an earthquake. With 48.1% of respondents answered financial aid, meanwhile 29.6% of respondents answered donation of food and water. Finally, a total of 22.2% of respondents answered donation of clothes and other basic necessities. Concluding, financial aid is the highest peak of respondents, while donation of clothes and other basic necessities is the lowest peak for respondents. And figure 6 shows that 78.6% of respondents have not experienced or been affected by an earthquake, and 21.4% of respondents have experienced earthquake. In figure 7, respondents are asked if they felt the tremors of an earthquake that hit Sumatra in Malaysia. 71% of respondents answered yes, no, while 21% answered yes. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, for the conclusion. In conclusion, the objective of this project report have been realized through finding as we able to get 31 respondents on survey of earthquakes in Japan. By conducting the survey, respondents can improve existing safety precaution against earthquakes, be it structural and foundational resistance against earthquakes and safety measures, and develop new technology that will help us warn against and help restore damaged infrastructure, which in turn will allow us to save more lives when an earthquake happens in the future. For the further studies, we will conduct interviews with Japanese who have experienced the earthquake so that we can obtain more accurate and detailed results.